What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Halo Infinite video. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the battle rifle, the #1 weapon that you're going to be using and you need to master if you want to dominate Halo Infinite ranked. So we're going to break it down, including damage numbers, tips and tricks, and everything that you need. But for those of you who are dedicated and want to grind to Onyx and above and climb the ranks incredibly easy, you got to go check out the GameLeap website where we have in-depth strategy guides, pro match breakdowns, tips and tricks. There's so much content on the GameLeap website, so you just got to go check it out right now down below. Now, before we jump into tips and tricks, let's actually break down everything that you need to know about the weapon itself. So in a single magazine, you're gonna have 36 bullets, which means 12 total bursts. Now, because it takes 4 bursts per kill with no outside damage, no grenade damage or team damage, you could perfect 3 people, but realistically, you're only gonna be able to kill 2 before you have to reload, unless you hit some really solid damage with grenades or you're taking multiple team fights. Now, 1 burst max damage is going to do 390 damage, and 1 bullet is going to do 130 damage. 4 bursts if the last bullet in the head, which is 12 total bullets, is a 1.55 second time to kill, and 16 bullets all in the body, which is 6 total bursts, is a 2.4 second time to kill. Now, the first big question that comes up with the battle rifle is how and where am I supposed to aim this weapon? Well, of course, you're supposed to aim center of mass first. You're trying to break the shields first before you try to get the headshot grouping to finish off a target. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be shooting the enemy in the head or towards the head if they still have shields, because you don't want a situation where one of your bullets actually breaks the shields, but because you're aiming body level, you're not finishing them off. So if the enemy is weak, if the enemy is low, oftentimes you want to make sure that you're still aiming head level, or if you're trying to set up a situation where you need that headshot to finish off the enemy, like a grenade bounce into a headshot spray, you typically are going to want to aim head level as well. A great indicator is if the enemy is really lit up, so they're very weak or they're about to pop their shields, or if you're in a multiple spray battle where 2 of your teammates are fighting 1 person. Typically, it's good for at least one of you to be aiming head level so you can finish them off and you don't take extra shots when unnecessary. Because if you compare the time to kill between a headshot and a not headshot, it's almost a whole additional second, and that enemy could get out of there or maybe even get a kill in the process. Now, the next thing that we really need to break down is actually head glitches, and this is something that is incredibly important that you're going to need to abuse in a lot of different situations where you are only peeking out head level barely towards enemies. And there's a lot of different maps you could do this on. Every time you're on the high ground, if you have a slight barrier or backwards elevation, you can set yourself up to where only the top half of your body is peeking. And remember, as long as you're able to see the enemy, you can still fire even if only your head is peeking, and you can still shoot them, and the enemy is not going to be able to fire back center of mass. They're only going to be able to see your head, so the shot's going to be way harder for them to hit, which is going to be a huge benefit to you as long as you're not 1 HP, and it's just going to be a lot easier for you to trade damage more effectively to the enemy. Now, one of the huge mistakes that a lot of players are making is that they will reload far too much. They'll kill 1 person, or they will just shoot at a person a little bit and that person will run around the corner and they will reload. And this is a really common problem in a lot of games where people want the maximum amount of bursts just in case you need them, right? But the thing is, you have 12 total bursts in 1 magazine. There's no reason that you should be reloading after shooting twice. You have so many to work with. And ultimately, if you're getting in a situation where you are going to be completely repositioning or you're running away and rerouting in an area you know no enemies at, that is the best time to reload, so it won't actually cost you anything and you won't be caught with your pants down trying to reload when an enemy peeks you and now you're just absolutely screwed because they get first shot on you. Now, another thing that high-level Onyx players are going to be utilizing on the battle rifle far more is they're not just firing when they see enemies. They're often firing or pre-firing certain angles. The jiggle peek spraying, which is stepping out and spraying and stepping back, like almost to the point where you're not even looking at the enemy, you're just spraying in their general direction. Oftentimes it's used to de-scope certain weapons like snipers, and they're putting out a lot of bullet pressure. You're realistically not going to run out of ammo in your battle rifle, so use it. Spray a lot, shoot a lot of bullets, put pressure on any enemy you see. If an enemy runs by you, shoot them, even if you're not going to kill them. Just putting that damage on them is going to make them tuck in, make them play safer, or allow an ally to finish them off. putting that spray pressure in the air is really something that creates a lot of space for your team and sets it up in a way where you're not going to get 2v1'd as often. Every time you see an enemy peek out into open space, utilize that ammo, spray that ammo, don't be stingy with your ammo. And if enemies keep jiggling the same corner, peeking again, shooting, peeking again, shooting, start to pre-fire them, start to spray them back, put bullets in that corner so if an enemy wants to peek it, they're gonna take bullets right to the face, especially if they're trying to peek it by pre-scoping. You're gonna de-scope them, completely jar them, get first shot on them. There's a lot of advantages to utilizing your full ammo and your full clip, but you can't be afraid to utilize your ammo. I promise you, you're not gonna run out, and it's not like shooting a real gun in today's day and age where, you know, you go to the range for like 30 minutes and you already spent a goddamn like $100 or more depending on the caliber. Anyways, that's a completely different tangent. You're not wasting money. Freaking spray your goddamn gun. Now, another big mistake that a lot of players are making with the battle rifle is in situations where the enemy is very low, or you're in a situation where you and the enemy are both very low. Let's say you run up to each other and you both melee each other and now you're both one shot. Oftentimes what you typically want to do is you want to move in a way that's sporadic, but also pre-adjust your crosshair placement to where the enemy is going to be, their head level. So a great example of this would be jumping backwards and at the same time adjusting your crosshair placement down to where it's going to be head level where the enemy is. This is a great way to not only move your head so it's actually off of the base level, and it's gonna make it harder for the enemy to shoot your head, but you are also pre-adjusting your crosshair placement. Now, of course, the enemy could think the same thing. The enemy could jump, but it puts you both at a more level playing field, and if the enemy doesn't react at all, they try to crouch to dodge, or if they just back up, you're gonna be far better off by dramatically moving your headshot hitbox and adjusting for theirs prematurely, and that's one way that you're gonna be able to win a lot of these really close no-shield battles. On top of that, another big mistake that a lot of people have that is making them lose fights even when they're initially winning them is they try and force a shot way too much and they almost get into a panic situation. They get a target low and they're spraying, and then they're trying to finish off that target, and that target jumps and they overflick and they just try to spray, trying to get that last bullet in the head. They only need one bullet to finish off the target. So they're just gonna shoot out as many bullets as they possibly can, but it doesn't matter. They freaking can't get that headshot and the enemy is going to be able to break their shields and kill them. And now you're frustrated because you had such a huge advantage. Something that you need to do consistently is you need to just line up that perfect shot. Oftentimes, it's about patience and not rushing. If the enemy does something like we talked about, they're trying to alter their headshot hitbox. So they jump, they try to make it to where their headshot hitbox is sporadic. They're crouch spamming, they're jumping, whatever the case may be. There will be a moment where it's really easy for you to line up that shot. They're flying through the air because they're jumping. Line up exactly where they are. Track them through the air. Get that shot down. You don't have to rush it. You have to confirm it. That's all you have to do, and you're going to 100% get that kill and win that matchup. But if you try to rush, you try to force it through, oftentimes they might be able to turn the matchup on you, which is going to be so frustrating, and you cannot lose duels where you have a huge damage advantage. Now, speaking of advantage, the GameLeap website is the #1 advantage platform that you could find for Halo Infinite, where we have in-depth battle rifle breakdowns from pro players showing you the strategy, how to use it, how to pop off, mechanical tips and tricks, and so much more. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.